Hey, Velomobile fans, I am back with another announcement. If you read the title, you know I bought a WAW Velomobile. And yes, you read that right. After riding the latest Velomobile technology, including several prototypes over the past few years, I just bought a WAW, a Velomobile that hasn't really been updated in a decade. When I tell people this, that I bought a new WAW, I get some pretty questioning looks, so it seemed like a good time to explain why I chose the WAW. As most of you are probably aware, I recently moved from Minneapolis in the US to a rather small town in the very southern part of the Netherlands. In fact, so far south that I can actually walk in a few minutes to the Belgian border. The Netherlands, of course, is known for their extensive cycling infrastructure. In fact, I can ride from my small village into the nearby towns to go to the grocery and the hardware stores entirely on bike path. In fact, it's not even legal to ride on the road because, well, there's a bike path. The trick with bike paths is that it's meant for traditional bikes, not 2.6 meter long velomobiles with large turning circles. I've been told that technically my velomobile is wide enough for me to ride on most roads, but I'd rather enjoy the novelty of riding on bike paths away from traffic for once. That means I need a velomobile with a smaller turning radius and open wheel wells to navigate tight path transitions because I hate doing 3-point turns. Yes, I know open wheel wells can make velomobile more wind sensitive, but it's a trade-off I'm willing to make. There are really only 3 models of velomobiles in production with open wheel wells: the Bulk Urban, the Alpha 7, and the WAW. The price tag of a new Urban is pretty much out of my budget right now, and despite my best efforts with a very nice used Alpha 7, the seat still causes me too much back pain. That left the WAW with a quite competitive starting price of €9,479 in Europe and €7,834 for those that don't have to pay VAT, like US and Canada, and England. I've been pretty busy since moving, getting situated in my house, acquiring the business of Velomobile SH, taking care of immigration matters, and working on my businesses. I don't really have a lot of time to mess with maintenance. I know I also am kind of lazy and I tend to avoid unpleasant tasks, so I wanted a Velomobile with as convenient of maintenance access as possible. This was really driven home to me this summer when I started regularly riding my recumbent bike again. The removable nose and tail of the WAW do have the advantage of being similar to working on a traditional bike. And yes, it takes longer to remove the bolts than to remove an access hatch, but I have to admit that the easier access while working will probably compensate for the extra time it takes to take out the bolts. There's a few other things that appealed to me too. I discovered the hard way how quickly the weather can change in the Netherlands. The most memorable example was getting caught in a thunderstorm walking 6 kilometers home from the bus stop. By the time I got home, rain was squishing out of my shoes and dripping down my pants. Foam covers, of course, are fine for keeping the rain out, but they don't keep the rain from pelting your face. The WAW has a removable hood that can be stored in the back. Paired with a wiper blade, which you can buy in my store, I would have the option to install that quickly next time heavy rain comes. There are some other convenient options too. For instance, it's possible to install a pinion, gearbox, or a schlumpf, mountain drive, or even put a roll-off in the back. Now, I'm not an internally geared hub fan, but I know a lot of people that are. Katanga also has been offering the option for mid-drive or hub drive e-assist for quite some time and is the only company I know of that's offering a hub drive installed at the factory. Again, not my cup of tea, but I know it is for a lot of people. The removable nose and tail are also easily replaced in the event that they're damaged in a crash, and there's the option for a Kevlar body that creates a shell that's very durable and safe if you get hit. The final point that really appealed to me is that I found out the same person has been assembling the WAW for a decade now. I've heard that the quality control from Katanga is really consistent, and that would explain why. I've opted for the sport configuration with no rear suspension and a wider rear tire, lightweight rims, and full carbon, and I'll be able to run tubeless. This will give me a weight around 28 kilograms and maximize the stiffness for good acceleration in all the stop and start riding I'm doing. 28 kilograms might sound heavy these days, but in reality, most velomobiles being produced now are actually running close to that range. Keep in mind the weight of the WAW includes the battery and the race hood. Most companies are weighing their models bare without any hoods or batteries, so the weight of the WAW is actually not that far off. Other things I like are the larger rear light strip, the dual front headlights, and the hinge system for the hood that attaches to the mirror. The rear idler has a chain guard, so I don't have to worry about the chain falling off. The chain line is more exposed in the back than other models. There is a protective cover that does help, but I'll probably need to clean my chain more often. But what about no innovations or changes for a whole decade? It's true that there have been a lot of changes in the industry since then. More models are full carbon, there have been improvements in stiffness and internal airflow. Some of these developments were already integrated into the WAW a decade ago, including the air intake option in the nose, which I opted for. The WAW isn't intended as a high-performance race bike. It's meant as a practical commuter, which is exactly what I need right now since I don't have a car or a Dutch driver's license. No, the WAW is not the lightest and the fastest model, but I'm not planning on doing any racing. I just need convenience and weather protection, and I've actually discovered that I don't really enjoy structuring my routes just so I can ride the fastest, most Velomobile optimized route. Someone recently asked me about my decision to sell the WAW rather than the Bulks and Alphas and Milans, given how enthusiastic I was specifically about the Bulk. I want to be clear that my decision to stop carrying the Bulk had nothing to do with the product itself, but rather was a business-related decision. My opinion of the Bulk hasn't changed. As a one-man shop, I have to carefully balance my offerings relative to what works best with my business. The time investment as a Bulk Milan and Alpha dealer was pretty substantial, especially for the container shipments. I've thought long and hard about whether I wanted to return to selling Velomobiles, and I knew if I did, it was going to need to be the right situation. I talked a lot with Katanga about their business model, and I felt that this was going to be a good fit for me, and it's a model that still offers something unique in the Velomobile market. If you're interested in learning more about the WAW, I'd be happy to talk to you. I serve the Netherlands area, US and Canada, and I have colleagues in Belgium at Fietser, WAW Velo in Germany, and Passion Velomobile in France. They're all knowledgeable dealers, and Katanga also sells worldwide direct from the factory. All of us would be happy to share with you what we think is unique about the WAW and discuss if it might be the right option for you. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe so that you know when the next video hits, and I'll see you later. Bye!